your positive imprint. Stories are everywhere. People and their positive action inspire positive achievements. Your PI could mean the world to you. Get ready for your positive imprint.
Hello there, I'm Catherine, your host of this variety show podcast. Your positive imprint is transforming how we live today for a more sustainable tomorrow through education and information. Your own positive actions inspire change. Follow me on Instagram, and brilliant, I'm updating my YouTube channel, Your Positive Imprint, and you can also follow me on Meta, formerly Facebook, and connect with me on LinkedIn. Check out my website, yourpositiveimprint.com, where you can learn more about the podcast and sign up for email updates. Thank you so much for listening on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, Pandora, Amazon Music, well, your favorite podcast platform, and of course, an updated YouTube channel. Music by the legendary and talented Chris Knoll. chrisknoll.com, CHRISNOLE. Thank you again for listening and for your support of this podcast. Your Positive Imprint. What's your PI? What sentimental treasures are hanging around in your home? Do you have treasures broken sitting in a drawer? Have you ever heard of Repair Café? Repair Café began in 2009 in Amsterdam by Martine Postma. She wanted to find a way to be more sustainable. Repair Café went global.
It's free to the public. They can come in and bring a broken item. Also, we want the visitors to learn how to repair things themselves so that they can start to think about their belongings differently. Our biggest cost was the venue because the library does not have a space big enough to host something like this. So I had to pay for a venue. I did invest in a lot of different types of glues and adhesives because I want us to have a station where people can go. Everybody has that one item at home that needs a special glue, but they don't want to go out and buy it just for this one thing.
So what's the cafe?
A little corner or a table that people can sit and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. There's a reading table. That's where the library comes in handy because I can bring books. I'm really good at rallying the troops. I want people to know that they don't have to be associated with the library to do this. Anyone can start one of these. This just happened to be the path that I took. Most of them, in fact, I think are just private citizens who just say, hey, we need to do this. I think this is a great idea. There are other programs out there that are similar. I decided to use the Repair Café model because you can purchase a digital kit from them. You can download all of their materials that tell you how to get started, and you have access to the logo and all the signs and everything.
So there's definitely a sentimental element to it. Like my bag I've had for ages. I've taken it overseas, so it's got a bit of a story. It's got a lot of marks and wear and tear on it, sort of like a bit of character, so I quite enjoy that bag. I'm also planning on taking it on a trip. There's only one hole on it, so it feels like it's a big pity sort of chucking out the whole bag just because of a hole. I mean, I've still got a few more years in it. So that's from a Beyonce concert, so that has a lot of sentimental value, this one.
Repair Cafe is a bit of that bartering. I've got my skills. You bring in your broken item, I'll fix it for you, and you can walk out the door. And when you turn that switch on and the lamp works or the toaster works or whatever, the big smile comes on their face, and that's one of the most rewarding things of doing these repair cafes is looking across the other side of the table and seeing that result.
Just because the zipper's splitting doesn't necessarily mean that it should be tossed away.
I've always enjoyed sewing, and I like the philosophy of the Repair Cafe and teaching people the skills. So
yeah, we're just repairing a lampshade that's broken the holder. So what we're trying to do is create a holder for it so that the shade will sit on the stand.
So, and then the guys also fixed a lamp which had actually been in my grandmother's house?
Well, I noticed one of the ladies here sewing, and when I was a kid, my mum taught me sewing, hand stitching. So maybe I could help if they still do hand stitching for things.
People have always tinkered in sheds, but the model was taking repair out into the community and making it more formalised. I prefer mending and I prefer refashioning.
Refashioning and repurposing are buzzwords.
True materialism is about loving the things that you have.
We've added the furniture, small appliances, small electronics, and then we have a clothing and textile. There are people who don't know how to sew on a button.
Right.
Zippers and things that need to be patched and hemmed and socks that need to be darned. A knife and scissor sharpening station.
My contribution is that I'll get the hands dirty and you always learn, and I really enjoy that. And that's a great part of this Right to Repair.
One of the angles that I was interested in when I started this up was related to the problem solving. What I found, and I've got a couple of teenage children, in terms of skills and experience in getting a problem and trying to work their way through the problem, I think we're sort of developing a society that's getting less opportunity to do that, and that's part of this throwaway society. That's sort of the other angle I'm pushing with our Repair Cafe. We've been approached by a teacher from one of the local high schools to try and organise what they call an incursion for some of our repairers to go into the school as part of an environmental awareness type week.
Earth to Autism Incorporated, a nonprofit on a mission to help adults with autism find meaningful employment. And Repair Café is a place in which volunteers gain experience.
So our program gives adults with autism hope. We can tackle unemployment for those with autism, and we can tackle environmental issues.
I have a son who had some fine motor challenges. He has autism as well, and he had some fine motor challenges. And I was trying to work with him on small eye-hand coordination for teaching skills of independence. And so we worked with teeny tiny beads, which are called seed beads, and memory wire.
I'm Jarrett. That's with 2 R's and 2 T's. I also was the one who made the necklace that Ruth was talking about just a minute ago.
We're hoping that not only can they fix electronics, but they can fix jewelry and bikes and sew as well.
This lady was converting her VHS tapes to DVDs, and I retracked the tapes that were on it.
I don't want things to be thrown away. I'd rather keep reusing things.
It is unsustainable for the earth for us to continue throwing things away when there are alternatives.
There's another aspect to it, ensuring that manufacturers essentially take on more responsibility for the goods that they produce, so that we can get the goods and that they're designed in a way that enables us to get them repaired so we can reuse them. Australia is taking a bit of a combination of the European approach, which is the environmental stewardship approach, and a little bit of the American approach, which is a consumer rights approach. COVID has really highlighted that with the breakdown of supply chains. People have realised how dependent we are on spare parts coming in from overseas.
Raising awareness of reuse and repair and the right to repair. So it's really important for us to stand up and rock the boat a little bit.
Eco-design became mandatory through a very special aspect, which is repairability. Selling products in France, wherever they produce it in the world, they have to calculate this mandatory repairability index, and the retailers, they have to inform the consumer how easy or how difficult it is to dismantle the product, to find spare pieces, spare parts to replace in case it's not working. Not completely new ideas, but we have new studies proving that to keep an electronic product as long as you can is the best choice you can do for the future of the planet regarding CO2 emissions. Why? Because to produce these devices you need so many materials to transform them, etc. But 75% of the impacts, they occur while you are producing this device. You avoid new emissions by keeping your device. Well, you see, to avoid emissions for the future is a good consequence. So it's the future of mankind, not only the planet.
We have a recycling crisis throughout the world, and recycling is no longer enough. We need to refuse, reduce, reuse, and repair. They're my words of wisdom.
Did you hear the bell? Every time we repair something, we ring it.
CO2 non-emissions, things that will affect the world today, through tomorrow, and into the future. Something that is imperative for the continuing efforts of the planet, conservation and preservation of not just products, but also wildlife preservation and, of course, habitat preservation.
Win-win for everyone in the environment.
My goal is, when people listen, is hopefully to get inspired to engage their positive imprint into activities.
Well, we don't live in a virtual world. Let us expect tangible progress.
Break your throwaway habit. Grab some friends and start a Repair Café anywhere in the world. RepairCafé.org. Your Positive Imprint is a free podcast. If you'd like to buy me a coffee to help fund the production of this podcast, here's how. Go to buymeacoffee.com/yourpositiveimprint, and any support you offer will be greatly valued. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to Your Positive Imprint. So try to change your perspective in order to understand the reality of others. And until next time, enjoy listening to over 200 episodes of Your Positive Imprint. Your Positive Imprint. What's your PI?